Today, we break down every single weapon Iran has built to counter America. Don't miss a single reveal as we see them all. Iran's strategy is simple but lethal. Deny access, saturate defenses, and punish forward bases. From underground missile cities buried beneath mountain ranges to fast attack swarms choking the Persian Gulf, Tehran has engineered a layered arsenal designed to neutralize American air power, shred naval dominance, and threaten hardened bunkers across the entire region. Every system you're about to see was built with one adversary in mind, and every layer feeds into the next. Chapter 1. Ballistic Missile Backbone. Shahab 3. The Shahab 3 marked Iran's entry into credible long-range strike capability. Running on a liquid-fueled propulsion system with a range exceeding 1,000 kilometers, it turned every American airstrip in the Gulf into a potential target overnight. Intelligence estimates suggest Iran maintains several hundred of these missiles in hardened shelters and mobile launchers, giving commanders the ability to sustain fire across multiple waves. The warhead options, high explosive or submunitions, allow mission planners to choose between destroying a single hardened target or shredding exposed aircraft across an entire flight line. American-based commanders responded by dispersing assets and hardening shelters, but the math still favors the attacker. A Patriot battery carries a limited interceptor count, and every Shahab that forces a defensive launch drains that magazine further. Qader 110, where the Shahab 3 opened the door, the Qader 110 walked through it with better aim. This refined medium-range platform carries improved guidance systems that shrink the circular error probable, meaning warheads land closer to intended aim points. It arcs high above radar coverage during mid-course flight before descending at steep angles that compress defensive reaction windows. The primary target set includes logistics hubs, command centers, and fuel storage facilities, the connective tissue that keeps an air campaign functioning. Destroy those nodes, and sortie rates collapse even if runways survive. Sejjil. The Sejjil changed the game entirely. Powered by a 2-stage solid fuel system, it eliminated the lengthy fueling process that made liquid-fueled missiles vulnerable to preemptive strikes. A liquid-fueled missile can take 30 to 60 minutes to prepare, a window where satellite imagery or surveillance drones can trigger a strike before launch. The Sejjil erases that window. It rolls out of concealment and launches within minutes, enabling coordinated salvos timed to arrive simultaneously at multiple targets. That simultaneity is what overwhelms missile defense architecture. A Patriot battery tracking 4 inbound warheads arriving within seconds faces a fundamentally different problem than intercepting 4 missiles spaced minutes apart. Iran reportedly fields enough Sejjils to generate exactly that kind of saturation. Khorramshahr. Brute force has its own doctrine, and the Khorramshahr embodies it. Carrying a payload capacity exceeding 1,800 kilograms, roughly triple the weight of a standard Shahab warhead, this missile sacrifices finesse for raw destructive output. One warhead slamming into a fortified installation delivers enough explosive energy to crater reinforced concrete and collapse underground command floors. American military planners have spent billions hardening facilities precisely because weapons like the Khorramshahr exist. The calculus is straightforward. When you cannot guarantee pinpoint accuracy, you compensate with a warhead heavy enough that near misses still kill. Fateh 110. Not every strike requires a 1,000-kilometer arc. The Fateh 110 operates as Iran's battlefield workhorse, a precision-guided, solid-fueled short-range ballistic missile that delivers surgical fire support against regional bases and air defense sites. Its mobility allows crews to set up, fire, and relocate before counter-battery systems pinpoint the launch origin. During the Al-Assad strike, Fateh series derivatives demonstrated the kind of accuracy that once belonged exclusively to Western-guided munitions. Impact craters landed directly on aircraft shelters and living quarters, proving terminal guidance systems had matured far beyond early estimates. Zolfaghar. Extending the Fateh architecture to roughly 700 kilometers, the Zolfaghar integrates enhanced accuracy through advanced inertial navigation paired with possible GPS alternative corrections. Its primary mission profile targets runways and aircraft shelters, the goal being to ground American sorties before they ever leave the tarmac. A coordinated Zolfaghar salvo against 3 or 4 airbases simultaneously would force commanders to choose between launching aircraft into uncertain conditions or watching them destroyed on the ground. Either option degrades operational tempo, which is exactly the point. Emad. The Emad deserves special attention because it represents a philosophical shift. Earlier Iranian ballistic missiles followed predictable ballistic arcs. What goes up follows a fixed parabolic path down. The Emad features a maneuverable re-entry vehicle that adjusts course during its terminal descent phase. That single capability transforms the interceptor problem dramatically. Missile defense systems calculate intercept solutions based on predicted trajectories. A warhead that changes direction in the final seconds and validates those calculations, forcing defenders to recompute in a window where reaction time has already expired. The Emad doesn't just hit harder, it makes getting hit far more likely. Kheibar Shekan. Standing at the apex of Iran's current ballistic evolution, the Kheibar Shekan combines solid fuel propulsion, mobile launch platforms, and advanced terminal guidance into one integrated package. Reports indicate a range of approximately 1,450 kilometers with accuracy improvements that place it among the most capable medium-range ballistic missiles in the Middle East. It launches from transporter erector launchers that disperse across terrain, fire, and relocate before reconnaissance assets can develop a targeting solution. The combination of speed, maneuverability, and survivability makes the Kheibar Shekan the weapon most likely to penetrate future missile defense upgrades, and Tehran knows it. Chapter 2. Soumar. The Soumar represents Iran's entry into land attack cruise missile capability. Derived from Soviet-era Kh-55 technology but domestically re-engineered, it hugs terrain at low altitude using advanced navigation countermatching systems. Flying beneath radar coverage that typically scans for high-altitude threats, the Soumar exploits the gap between what air defenses are designed to detect and what actually approaches. It penetrates layered defensive grids and delivers its warhead into high-value targets with a flight profile that prioritizes stealth over speed. Hoveyzeh. Building on the Soumar's architecture, the Hoveyzeh extends Iran's deep strike envelope reportedly beyond 1,350 kilometers. That range places targets across the entire Arabian Peninsula within reach from launch positions deep inside Iranian territory. It glides beneath detection thresholds at altitudes where ground clutter confuses radar returns, arriving with precision warheads calibrated for critical infrastructure, power generation, communications relays, and water desalination plants. The strategic message is unmistakable. Any conflict will carry consequences far beyond the battlefield. Noor. At sea, the rules change. The Noor is an anti-ship cruise missile built for one purpose: killing warships. Based on the Chinese C-802 platform, but domestically produced and upgraded, it locks onto naval radar signatures using active terminal guidance and streaks just above the wave tops at transonic speed. In 2006, Hezbollah used a variant of this missile to strike the Israeli corvette INS Shahed, demonstrating that even a single hit against a modern warship causes crippling damage. Iran maintains large inventories of the Noor along its southern coastline, positioned to saturate the confined waters of the Persian Gulf where American destroyers and supply vessels operate with limited maneuvering room. Qader. Where the Noor covers medium range, the Qader extends coastal denial zones significantly further. Featuring improved electronics, longer range, and enhanced resistance to electronic countermeasures, the Qader pushes American carrier strike groups farther from shore, exactly where their aircraft lose loiter time and combat effectiveness over land targets. Every additional nautical mile between a carrier and its target translates directly into reduced sortie rates and degraded close air support. Iran doesn't need to sink a carrier. It just needs to push it far enough away to become operationally irrelevant. Shahed 136. No weapon in Iran's inventory has been more combat validated than the Shahed 136. Designed as a delta-winged, propeller-driven loitering munition, it costs a fraction of the missiles used to shoot it down. Ukraine has faced hundreds of these drones in Russian-launched salvos since 2022, and the results exposed a critical asymmetry. Each Shahed costs an estimated $20,000 to $50,000 while the interceptors used against them cost between $1 and $2 million each. Iran's doctrine leverages this math ruthlessly. Launch 50 Shahed 136 drones at a single target complex. Even if air defenses destroy 45, the 5 that penetrate deliver warheads into radar arrays, ammunition depots, and command posts. The defender wins the engagement statistically, but loses the war economically, and strategically, those 5 hits still degrade capability. Mohajer 6. The Mohajer, 6 shifts from attrition to precision. Equipped with electro-optical and infrared targeting pods alongside laser-guided munitions, it provides persistent armed overwatch across contested zones. It identifies armored convoys, tracks mobile air defense systems, and delivers guided strikes without risking a pilot or a manned airframe worth tens of millions. Iran has exported this platform to allied forces across the region, multiplying its reconnaissance and strike capacity through proxies who operate with tactical autonomy. Shahed 129. With endurance exceeding 20 hours and satellite-guided strike capability, the Shahed 129 functions as Iran's persistent hunter-killer drone. It loiters over contested areas, relaying real-time intelligence while carrying guided bombs capable of engaging moving targets. That combination of endurance and lethality means Iranian commanders can maintain continuous armed surveillance over choke points, supply routes, and staging areas, sustaining pressure around the clock without the logistical burden of rotating manned aircraft. Chapter 3. Air Defense Shield. The Bavar 373 sits at the top of that network. Engineered with phased array radar and long-range surface-to-air missiles capable of engaging targets at altitudes exceeding 27 kilometers, it represents Iran's answer to the Russian S-300 and competes conceptually with the S-400. It intercepts high-altitude aircraft, standoff cruise missiles, and potentially ballistic threats. American stealth platforms like the F-35 operate with reduced radar cross-sections, but reduced does not mean invisible. The Bavar 373's radar is specifically designed to detect low observable signatures at ranges that force stealth pilots to respect engagement zones rather than fly through them with impunity. Khordad 15. In June 2019, an Iranian surface-to-air missile shot down an American RQ for a Global Hawk surveillance drone, a $220 million platform. The system credited with that kill was the Khordad 15. Featuring advanced tracking radar reportedly capable of detecting stealth-shaped targets, it engages multiple threats simultaneously and operates on mobile platforms that relocate between shots. That single shoot-down demonstrated a capability that altered American reconnaissance planning across the entire theater. ROD. The ROD system fills the medium-range defensive layer using domestically produced Terre series missiles fired from mobile launchers. Its value lies not in individual capability, but in network density. Each ROD battery creates a shifting defensive bubble that complicates suppression of enemy air defense missions. American SEAD doctrine relies on identifying and destroying fixed radar positions. When those positions move between engagements, targeting solutions expire before strike aircraft arrive. Tor M1 acquired from Russia before sanctions tightened supply chains. The Tor M1 provides point defense against precision-guided munitions at close range. It intercepts incoming cruise missiles, smart bombs, and anti-radiation missiles, the exact weapons American forces use to dismantle air defense networks. Positioned around nuclear facilities, command bunkers, and missile production plants, the Tor M1 serves as the last defensive layer before warheads reach their targets. Chapter 4. Qader class is a midget submarine designed specifically for the shallow, noisy waters of the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. At roughly 29 meters long, it operates in depths where larger submarines cannot follow and hides against the acoustic clutter of commercial shipping lanes. Armed with torpedoes and capable of deploying naval mines, a fleet of more than 20 Qader-class boats can seed the strait with threats that take weeks to clear, effectively closing the world's most critical oil choke point on command. Fateh-class submarine. The Fateh class extends Iran's undersea capability into deeper water. Displacing roughly 527 tons and equipped with torpedo tubes along with potential anti-ship cruise missile integration, It operates with greater endurance and striking power than the coastal Qader boats. It stalks surface combatants from below the thermal layer, striking without warning before slipping back into the acoustic shadows. Even one unlocated Fateh-class submarine operating in the Gulf of Oman forces an American carrier strike group to divert anti-submarine warfare assets, helicopters, sonobuoys, escort frigates, away from offensive operations. Zolfaghar fast attack craft. Speed and numbers define Iran's surface doctrine. The Zolfaghar fast attack craft carries anti-ship missiles on a high-speed hull that accelerates, fires, and disperses before defensive systems can establish targeting locks. In swarm tactics, dozens of these craft converge from multiple vectors simultaneously. An Aegis destroyer tracking 20 incoming contacts from 5 different compass bearings faces engagement geometry that no combat system was designed to handle efficiently. The boats are individually fragile, but the doctrine never intended them to survive. It intended them to overwhelm. Hoot torpedo. The Hoot represents the most extreme expression of Iran's asymmetric naval philosophy. Believed to utilize supercavitation technology derived from the Russian VA-111 Shkval, it allegedly travels underwater at speeds exceeding 200 knots, roughly 3 to 4 times faster than conventional torpedoes. At that velocity, the time between detection and impact collapses to seconds. Current torpedo countermeasures, decoys, noisemakers, evasive maneuvering require reaction windows that simply do not exist against a supercavitating weapon. Whether the Hoot is operationally reliable remains debated among analysts, but its existence alone forces American naval planners to account for a threat they cannot conventionally outrun. Chapter 5. Underground and Strategic Infrastructure. Underground missile cities. Iran has constructed a network of subterranean missile bases, what its commanders openly call missile cities, deep beneath mountain ranges across the country. These facilities feature reinforced blast doors, ventilation systems, and tunnel networks long enough to house transporter erector launchers that drive in, fuel, and exit from multiple concealed openings. American bunker-busting munitions like the GBU 57 massive ordnance penetrator can reach depths of roughly 60 meters in reinforced concrete. Iranian engineers reportedly positioned critical chambers deeper than that threshold and added multiple redundant tunnel exits that allow surviving launchers to continue operations even after direct strikes collapse primary entrances. The result is a retaliatory capability that survives first strikes, the definition of strategic deterrence. What makes Iran's arsenal dangerous is not any single weapon. It is the integration. Ballistic missiles saturate from above while cruise missiles and drones flood in from below radar coverage. Air defenses protect the launchers long enough to reload. Submarines and fast attack craft close the strait and push carriers beyond effective range. Underground bases ensure the entire cycle can repeat even after sustained bombardment. American military superiority is real, but superiority is not invulnerability. Iran's entire doctrine is engineered around one question: can you afford the cost of finding out? Every weapon on this list is designed to make that answer uncertain. And in deterrence, uncertainty is the whole point.